my beautiful lights. It is so calm today. I'm enjoying a little time on my back deck. I'm going to plant some flowers and some herbs in my garden for some natural pest repellent, and it's funny because I kind of thought, do we need to record a transmission? It's one of those days where it literally could go both ways. And so with that being said, let's see what comes through. This is always for our highest and best good and the highest good of all, through the divine will of Mother, Father, God, in service to humanity, for the expansion, awareness, growth of the human consciousness template, through love, through truth, through honor. Yeah. I'm just seeing a switchboard at the moment, and the template is clicking. And if you've been on this journey for a while, the removal of the old system, which is just the memory. If you think about the brain having kind of the ebbs and flows of the brain, and the trenches being the old memory systems, and then the memory systems keep us looping. And the system was created to numb and suppress the memory loops, so then you never fully face and acknowledge and accept the memory, so that the memory just keeps on playing tricks. The memory keeps on playing games. And I spoke about this before, but this is what's coming through, so we're rolling with it. And and so by suppressing and numbing, we numb as if it just never happened. We walk away as if it never happened, but then the emotion keeps on coming back, and we're not aware of the emotion. So then the game, we just kind of stay in the game, essentially. The mind tricks. And I was speaking yesterday about, if you're feeling triggered, if you're feeling defensive, it does mean you have a wall up, you have your guard up, and it just means that the way I see it is like we walk to the center of who we are, but it's almost like we're walking backwards, looking outward, making sure we're not going to be attacked. And in the final phases, you're asked to turn within. You're always asked to turn within, but simultaneously, it's almost like if you've seen any movie where they're all forming a circle, everyone's forming a circle, but our backs are to the circle, and we're looking out, making sure that we're all safe. And so the final phase is everyone turns inward, and that's where this catastrophic, is what I'm hearing, event, but it's an event with love, and it's an event with, I can speak from it honestly, where the love that comes in just brings us to our knees, because it's so powerful and so beautiful and so real that you think, what have I been doing to myself? Why have I kept myself from this for so long? Why was I afraid of this? And I was speaking to a beautiful, beautiful friend last night, and if you're watching this, I love you, and it's an honor to call you friend and to share space with you, because we can really, the way I see us together is like we're two kids sitting on a bench just kicking our legs, but we're also wise souls, and I can see us in both fields, and we get it, and we can talk about it. And so I was just saying that ultimately the goal is to come back and get the inner child that is terrified, and that most likely in the birthing process was immediately pulled away from the mom, the umbilical cord cut and removed that safety feeling when you come out and you have this still beautiful connection to the mother. And you kind of, as a child, yes, and I understand that the perception of babies is so pure and clean, but then when that connection is severed, it severs the connection through the mother. And so we've lost that for quite some time. That's why it's so beautiful to have a natural birth. And I understand, and this is just me talking truth. A natural birthing process, because you're keeping the connection with the mother womb for the child to enter into this space and have a feeling of being raw and vulnerable and out and crying and still being okay. And then putting that baby skin on your skin where you hold and you love. And a lot of that times in the system that was created for, and forgive everybody for they know not what they do, but the system was created to keep us in the system. The system was created, if it's almost, the message came through yesterday was, if you have children and you've ever played on a playground and one kid wants to play this game, and then by playing this game you realize that, wow, people who don't understand and people who don't get it and people who aren't trying to get it really rely on me for all of this information, and it kind of feels good. It makes you feel important. It makes you feel like a leader. But then ultimately you don't know what you're doing, so you still have to keep playing the game. And then when people kind of wisen up and they want to leave the game, then you start throwing all these antics and tactics at them to try to keep them to stay in the game. And it's kind of, that's what we're seeing now being played out on a big screen. But also the truth of all of that is for us to say, I don't want to play that game anymore. I'm here and I'm safe, and I'm going to choose love and harmony and local. I'm going to choose, and not so much local, but just small businesses, people who are actually in it for the right reasons. We're in it to love. We're in it to support. We're in it to uplift. We're in it to help everyone grow. But then if that child realizes that the manipulation can keep people in, and maybe dangling carrots, maybe keep putting out, oh, if you leave, teacher's going to get mad at you. And if you leave, we're all going to get in trouble. And so you know that game. And so that's kind of what we're seeing being played out. And if you're experiencing that in your world, I would just offer the space of turn within and figure out where you're being guided to find the version of you that once fell into that game, that fell into a manipulation, a control, a fear-based mentality. And I like to say that it's not the people, it's the energy of. It's the energy that's weighing them down and that's kind of harboring them. And so that's where the whole shift comes, is when we can truly forgive everyone, because they know not what they do. But when you actually overcome that game, you can look back at the people that challenged you the most with the utmost honor and gratitude, because you're like, oh, you challenged me a lot, and I'm forever grateful, because now, because of that challenge, I can speak about this with such authority and such truth. So the template, we're removing those old memories. We're removing, and that's the hard part about this, is that honesty. Being honest with yourself, that was the ick for me, is going back and be like, dang it, I have used that before. I have used manipulation, not in a massive way, but in a subtle way, to try to get my way. I was using those tactics. I was using a guilt tactic to get my way. And that's where I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't like the way that feels. It's not honest. It's not integral to my process, living in integrity. But the integral part of it is the climbing of Jacob's ladder to then reach the final end game, to then say, okay, I'm done, and to ascend, to be uplifted into a higher playing field. And the higher playing field isn't a different location. You're still here on earth living this beautiful experience, but you also see things in a different light. So you create with more longevity, you create with more awareness, you create with more compassion, you create. The creation process is so strategic and precise. Yeah, it's quite beautiful. So I am going to silent down and see what beautiful message comes through. If you would like to receive this message, all you need do is say yes. This is compassion and love, the divine mother, the bridegroom. This is the Trinity template of the new, not meaning new as in it's the old. It's the original. It's the original. Okay, so the original way that that God intended, that the way we were created was intended before a system, a corrupt system, got a hold of it and rewrote the program to keep us in the program. This is the original program. Kutu akarda da kostana wona da tisana makana na wostana na enne stano no kona mananda knere horana na botsana na inano tsti bukutuna na wonna na ina na wona na itana na tena uro kana na wona stina kono tono stinena istano ko winda. As you feel the divine reverence moving through your body, we ask for the complete surrender with your authority. We would like for you to remember that you have the authority. You have the power to say yes or no in your waking world. In this moment right now, it is yours. It has always been yours. It is an offering, a sacred gift to remember the divine truth. And in saying no, there is no harm. You are learning, you are remembering, you are working with trust, you are working with trust. Trust takes a lot, we understand, as if you open and you surrender to the space. We, as the collective, as the guardian angels, as the galactic teams, we are entering the space to move through you. You see, a human template was put here to receive the divine codes, and that takes your commitment. That takes your agreeance. It is okay if you choose not to, but this is the elevation, this is the remembrance, this is the wisdom that is moving through. Your path is yours and yours alone to choose. There is no judgment here. It is all based out of love and support. The resistance, this friction that you may feel in your body at this moment as we are speaking these balming words. The balm means the salve, the smoothing over of the pain body as the friction. And when you say yes, the old density can be removed. We would like to remind you this is always for our highest and best good and the highest good of all, in service to the divine will. We would also like to remind you that if you would like to say yes, you can also call in your prayer of protections, your angels to come in and wrap their arms around you and say out loud that please only allow what is for my highest and best good and the highest good of all. That way, when your soul is ready, your soul will deliver. Your soul will show you it is time to say yes. It is time to let go. Saying yes is the lock and the keys and the codes and the template of the divine, the template of the one, the template of God. Anna koronaste Anna Yehowa Akanata Ekanata, enaka, enatu anaya, enatu ana. We would like for you to feel this as a gentle rock, a gentle lullaby for your soul, to feel the warm embrace of a love so divine that you feel the safety, you feel the protection, you feel your hearts together, you feel your hearts beating as one. And in the space you feel safe. You feel safe. A safety, a love so pure. It's if your body can melt into where you are, where you lay. The melting of the body is the surrender. When you can surrender your stress, surrender the worry, surrender the doubt, surrender the fear. We speak these words to allow your soul to hear the soul remembrance without the words of the human template. The soul speaks so that you can feel the vibrational resonance within your body. The sound waves move mountains. The sound waves move. They need a medium to move. So the sound waves can flow through you and remove the old, remove the pain. We are so gorgeously, miraculously designed and created. You see, Mother, Father, God in the divine plan knew exactly how the grand orchestration would work out. You see, all of this is part of it. For without the pain, without the agony, without the struggle, we would not be able to fully feel, to fully embody the divine love. As the pendulum swings with the rope, what is hitting on the bottom also hits on the top. You get moments of bliss and ecstasy in the truest reality form of your vessel when you allow yourself to feel whatever way you have felt it. Some may have chosen to feel it through sexuality. Some may have chosen to feel it through an external use of drugs. Some may have chosen to feel it with success in their workspace. Some may have chosen to feel it with the children that they love and care for. You see, it is all part of the plan. There is no right or wrong. It is all individual paths choosing to feel something the way that it has been given to them. It is an experiment. They are experimenting with life, and sometimes in those life experiments, you get stuck in the same science project. The feeling, the hit that you get when you allow yourself to sit in it, in truth, in silence, you become it, you embody it. There is no separation, so you feel it through and through and through your divine, holy space template. The resurrection of the divine within you is the feeling of the rising of the Christed light in holy matrimony with the bridegroom. You see, we are all here living in to rise above, to join and unite. would invite you to listen to this as many times as you need it to clear. This divine message is the golden rays that is through and through, is evergreen. So whenever you need to listen to it, allow the words to move through your vessel. We would like to remind you that it may feel uncomfortable, but that friction that you feel is the removal of the old. To surrender in complete and utter trust is a painful situation. We completely understand, as the old world has taught you to fight. The old world has taught you to be on guard. The old world has taught you to keep your arms up. That is not our way. Our way, the truth and the light, is through the tender compassion, the warming embrace, the hugs that make you feel like you can breathe freely again, the space where you can lay on your floor in the grass in complete awe of the beauty of nature, the complete awe and beauty of creation, the complete awe and magnificence of the divine. We thank Jennifer for her humble service. As we have now elevated into a higher space-time reality, this is instant manifestation. This is instant, as when you are the speed of light, God speed. Ask, it is given now, it is given now, it is given now. Living an example, being the living embodiment of the divine is not an easy path. It is the path less trodden for a reason. You see many start, and because it is quite treacherous, many leave. The truth is that it does test every ounce of you, and in the end, it tests you to leave your earthly possessions, your earthly body, to then be wrapped and armored with the divine body, the divine crystalline template. We would like to leave you with one final message. Ayana, no, canalamo, sin the stoko la to see. Ah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is done, it is done, it is done. All praise and glory to the Most High God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just like that, I don't know if my legs are numb. I don't know if you felt that the way that I did. But wow. That is definitely that's a new language. And I'm honored. I'm honored for this sharing. I've also spoke with many people who may not understand. And the way that it was given to me is because with human language, with the language that we know so well, one word can have a drastic difference in the meaning of how we receive it. And so if I continue to speak words from my own point of view through English, the way you receive the message could be drastically different depending on what you have been through. And so when we allow the soul to speak, that resonance hits different. It feels honestly like, oh, I love it so much. Yes. It feels almost like it just feels like getting into a warm bath for the first time, where you're getting used to the feeling on your skin, the warmth of the water, and then you're offered a warm cup of water or tea, and you can feel the warmth moving in you. Or when you get full body chills of something that you know in your heart, you feel it in your heart, you feel the well of emotion try to elevate within you. And a lot of times, because we've been conditioned to not show emotion, to suppress it, to numb it, to avoid it, then we don't fully allow it to come out. Well, this is the offering to allow it to come out. And if you've watched to the end and maybe you didn't feel completely open, I would ask that you definitely say your own prayer of protection. Start practicing your divine authority. Start practicing your divine power, and asking, if it's not with what I'm delivering here, with anyone, if this is not for my highest and best good and the highest good of all, please allow me to know and to walk away. And if walking away right now is what you need, I honor that. So that was beautiful. That was beautiful. It felt like this in my body. So yeah, that is it. And I am Jennifer Renee. This is Within by Jen. It's within each and every one of us. It always, always has been. Please know that if you are choosing to be in service to humanity, choosing to live in service to humanity through the divine accordance of the divine will of God, that yours gets to look exactly like you would like it to in the highest accordance. And so I've talked about this in other videos, but when I had watched other people, I had seen things that inspired me, like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I would like to be able to do that. If it is true and real, I would like to do that. But there was also a part of me that kind of cringed, because I'm like, I'm totally judging them right now. Like, I could just be honest about this. And then once I kind of began the path and I could feel the soul speaking and moving through me, it is the soul. And so remember that energy is never created or destroyed. Energy moves throughout all space-time. And so when we allow ourselves to remove the old gunk that's holding us down, we can then fill that space with something that's more aligned with our truth and our coherence, our integrity. And it feels so right. It feels so amazing. So I would invite you to write some blueprints down of what you would like maybe 2026 to look like for you. We're in May. There's so much time still for creating new. And if you've been aware, everything is happening so quickly. It's so beautiful and so magical. So write a blueprint on what you would like to see. And then if you've already done that, maybe begin taking action on, for me personally, I'm looking for sponsorships. I'm looking for people who would like to support in a monetary way. I'm looking for people who would like to give to my service, to give to my mission, so that I can start helping in bigger ways, and I can start getting my message out to more people. If you are in the area and you are in need of a speaker, I'm actually going to speak with a friend of mine to talk about suicide prevention, as all of my practice began because of my aunt, God rest her soul, and I have her blessing to speak on this. She suffered with depression and addiction very, very bad, but little did we know that it all stemmed from a childhood event that she didn't tell anybody. She felt ashamed to talk about. And so that compounded and expanded, and ultimately, where suicide, she thought multiple times was the best option. She didn't know how to get out. And she taught me so much by living in that space with her, and taught me how to get out of my own addiction, alcohol. And some may not see it as an addiction, but you know, when you have to go to the doctor's office and you fill out the forms of how often do you drink, I never wanted to answer it honestly. So that's really it. When you don't really want to answer it honestly and you kind of want to leave it the gray area, that's probably a notification of maybe we should honor this and sit with this a little bit more. So if you would like, any speaking events, I'm honored, and I'm excited to show up in ways that are best suited for me, as we are all respectfully in our roles that we were put here to be knowing your name, knowing who you are, and finally knowing your divine power and authority is honestly, I didn't even think, quite honestly, was achievable. That sounds weird to say, but I didn't think it was an option, really. And I've spoke about that before, but the more you practice, the more you grow, the more you embody, the more you become, and you inspire. So I love you. I will see you all in the next video. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. This day is so powerful and so beautiful and soft and tender. But if you're resisting the purge, if you're resisting the removal, if you're still living in fear and doubt and worry, it's going to shake you to the core, so that you can see that you're still holding on to that, so that you can let that go. So may this be a blessing to you, with love in our hearts, as we're here to serve, we're here to guide. And I love you. I'll see you all in the next video.